technology. We employ an arsenal of services to help our clients build their businesses. Can't do it without a dedicated sales staff.
We're experiencing record growth, and we're looking for seasoned professionals with drive and determination to help us grow even more. We offer an excellent base salary with high commission rates and unlimited earning potential and full benefits. Plus, we offer major market experience without the major market commute.
At Town Square Media, you'll get the opportunity to make a real difference to thousands of local businesses, and you'll have a lot of fun along the way. If you're an experienced salesperson with a proven track record of success, then Town Square Media might have an opportunity for you.
To learn more about outside sales opportunities, contact Mike Rubel, Market Manager, at 609-645-9797. That's 609-645-9797. Town Square Media is an equal opportunity employer.
All right, that's going to wrap things up for today. Ed Henry confronts Josh Earnest on this moral superiority enhanced interrogation by the very administration involved in even killing civilians with drones. Also, Colonel North weighs in. Jorge Ramos of Univision will join us tonight. Pat Buchanan, Bo Dietl and Mark Furman, Geraldo, Bernard, and Dagan, my favorite panel. That's all coming up 10 Eastern. Set your DVR for the Fox News Channel. As always, thank you for being with us. We will be back here at Thursday edition tomorrow on the program. We'll see you then.
All loans subject to OnDeck score approval must be in business at least 1 year to apply. Are you a small business owner who needs working capital? At OnDeck, we can help. We focus on your business operations and cash flow, not just your personal credit score. And we're ready to help with loans of up to $250,000. True business loans, not a credit card advance. OnDeck provides financing to hundreds of different types of businesses like restaurants, auto body shops, healthcare, and service providers. So if you've been frustrated by the paperwork and long decision times of traditional lenders, see why so many small business owners are turning to OnDeck for the funding they need. Call now and speak with an OnDeck funding specialist. Our simple application process takes just minutes, and funding could be available in just one business day. OnDeck has an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. We've provided over $1 billion to businesses. So if you're a small business owner who needs financing for your business, visit us at ondeck.com or call us at 800-293-9166. That's 800-293-9166. 800-293-9166. WPGG, Atlantic City.
Keeping you and your business safe and sound is the job of Abetas Security. Try your luck in Atlantic City, but never gamble on your security. Abetas Security is the company that keeps Atlantic City secure. They're a full-service security firm with a focus on customer service and training. Abetas Security will come to your business and provide recommendations to maximize the return on your security investment, recognizing that each property and event is unique. Abetas Security is based in Atlantic City, located in the heart of the redevelopment zone. As Abetas Security continues to expand, they offer a myriad of career opportunities and are actively hiring quality candidates for all positions: uniform security, event staff, shift supervisors, and account managers. Go to abetassecurity.com to apply today. Abetas Security, located at 520 Pacific Avenue in the Bella Building in Atlantic City. Online at abetassecurity.com. Abetas Security would like to wish everyone a happy, healthy, and safe holiday season. Abetas Security in Atlantic City for Atlantic City.
Today's Ask the Mayor program is proudly brought to you by the Casino Reinvestment Development Authority, building a better future for our region through strategic initiatives to reposition Atlantic City as a clean and safe, multifaceted, year-round destination and community. Get in the holiday spirit by visiting the Deck the Halls Festival of Trees display at Boardwalk Hall, the Tree and Light Fest holiday display at Tanger Outlets, and don't forget to light up your night with the Winter Suite 3D Light and Sound Show. There may be a chill in the air, but the action is heating up in Atlantic City. An exciting lineup of world-class entertainment is on tap at Boardwalk Hall with musical acts Cat Williams, the All-Stars of Hip Hop, Linkin Park, Fleetwood Mac, and Mark Anthony, plus great sporting events like AHL hockey, indoor auto racing, and the Harlem Globetrotters. Meanwhile, the CRDA continues to invest in Atlantic City's future with Bass Pro Shops, Harris Conference Center, the Steel Pier Observation Wheel, improvements at Tropicana and resorts, Atlantic Avenue facades, and hundreds of new housing units. Come on, let's do AC.
Now, WPG Talk Radio 1450 presents Ask the Mayor, presented by the New Jersey Casino Reinvestment Development Authority and Alphatus Security. It's your opportunity to ask Atlantic City Mayor Don Guardian anything you want about the world's playground. To talk to Mayor Guardian, call 407-1450. That's 407-1450. Now, with Atlantic City Mayor Don Guardian, here's Harry Hurley.
Good evening and welcome to Ask the Mayor with Atlantic City Mayor Don Guardian. This is Harry Hurley, host of the Hurley in the Morning radio program, weekdays from 6 until 10 a.m., right here on WPG Talk Radio 1450. Ask the Mayor, brought to us by the Casino Reinvestment Development Authority and by Abeta Security. It's a monthly program that gives you the opportunity to pose your questions to Mayor Don Guardian. Phone lines will open up in just a little bit. And in fact, let me say this right up front, we're going to be a little bit abbreviated tonight with the mayor. Mayor has to leave at 6:45 tonight. He's always given us actually 5 minutes of overtime each and every month, and we knew this well ahead of time. So get your questions in early at 6:09, 407-1450. And again, we'll go to your calls in just a little bit. We're also streaming in real audio, real time, with our terrific executive producer, Town Square Media's own digital editor, Kyle McCann, doing a great job. You can tweet your question to Mayor Guardian right now, WPG1450, using hashtag WPG Ask the Mayor. Like us on Facebook and post your questions there as well. That's facebook.com/WPG1450. And of course, if you're away, take us with your smartphone, go to WPG1450.com and just click on the Listen Live button. For your planning purposes next month, this is our year-end program for 2014. We're already set for the new year with Mayor Guardian, and January's program is set for Thursday, January 8th at 6 p.m. Good evening, Mayor Guardian. There is a lot to talk about, sir. How are you?
Good evening, Harry. Always great to be back on WPG Talk Radio 1450 AM.
Here we begin tonight with a lot of breaking news. I want to turn it over to you. Today was a huge day. Tell us what's going on to the extent that you can.
Sure. So, it's all about a recovery plan for Atlantic City. And the key in this, as I've said, it's everyone cooperating together. We've all need to play together to win. And on the government side, that means the city, the county, the state, and the federal government working together. And so the real important week on Monday, we were up in Trenton. I was able to testify before the Senate Budget Committee. There are 5 bills that State Senator Sweeney, the president of the Senate, had proposed to help Atlantic City. And the 5 bills, just quickly, are moving the IATs. That's the tax that the casinos had previously given to CRDA and give it to the city for tax reduction. That's going to be in excess of $30 million a year for the next 15 years. Then, as good a job as the Atlantic Alliance has done, the casino industry has 2 more years at $30 million a year. They've said we really need to reduce the tax burden, and so we want you to use that for debt consolidation as well. So that's an additional $30 million coming before the city. And then knowing that there's so much instability with the casino industry, it would lock in the gaming industry at $120 million for the next 10, 15 years, so that they would know exactly what they're paying, we would know what we're paying. Then the 4th bill actually calls for a state monitor to come in to help the school district to find best practices and reduce costs, and it also introduces a subsidy for the school districts comparable to about 35 other cities that receive state subsidies. So that's the big stuff. Just being introduced, so it's just coming on board. Senator Whalen today has introduced a very exciting bill as New Jersey for the next 5 years. It would rebate 80% of the cost of building housing to developers, provided they build at least 8 homes, and that 80% of the homes are owner-occupied in Atlantic City. And then finally, our good friend Diane Allen from just outside of Morristown is introducing legislation that would provide free access for every casino worker that lost their jobs to be able to go to any county college that they want in the state of New Jersey at no cost.
And because you do all this from recall, for those that are listening, maybe even watching, you'll see the mayor does not work off of notes like most people do. Our good friend, State Senate President Steve Sweeney, has also dropped an important piece of this, and that is the boutique casinos.
Yes, and so in addition to this, the last bill was, we have a couple of hotels that are struggling. They won't be big casinos. These are hotels that have 200 rooms, and they would establish small area that would be allowed for casinos. It would give the Casino Control Commission the ability to select 2 of the hotels that would be interested to have small casinos.
I mean, I know it's not for any one property, and this will all be done fair and fair, but I mean, you take a property like the Chelsea.
Yeah,
what a perfect use this would be.
So that's a perfect example. Here's a group, under Curtis Bashaw's leadership that spends a fortune redoing the Holiday Inn and Howard Johnson's, has one of the hip, cool places, great club, but he's had to close weekdays during the winter because there's just no business. And so he's asking for just a little help. And if he is interested, he would be the perfect candidate for a boutique hotel.
609-407-1450 phone lines are open. Mayor, if you would give our listeners the latest regarding, and our viewers for that matter, on our YouTube channel, where go to WPG1450.com and you can watch us in beautiful Kyle McCann digital quality. He's doing a great job, doesn't he?
He is. Yep. Thank you, Kyle.
He's a good man. Tell us the latest on Taj Mahal. We have, I think, reason to be very hopeful, don't we?
Yeah, we do. So the city, the state, representative of the Trump organization, and Representative Carl Icahn, and then Local 54. Everyone has had level heads since before Thanksgiving. Before Thanksgiving, I think everyone is in agreement what's needed to keep the Taj opened. Now everything has to fall in place. So there's signatures, there's agreements, the unions got to agree to certain steps, the city had to agree. And by the way, this legislation that's coming up before the Senate and the Assembly on the 18th is exactly what Mr. Icahn was asking for. So there is, I mean, if you pray and you believe in prayers, and I do, this is the time to pray that we'll all stay at the table and that we save these 3,000 jobs.
And Mayor, I know it was only a short extension, maybe 8 days, but to me, they didn't extend that 8 days to close it. They extended it 8 days to make a deal.
Yeah, I think everyone's saying, we're going to do this, and now everyone is just saying, prove it. It's almost like being in the recess, in school, and you're saying, yeah, I know you said that, prove that you're going to do that. And so that's what we have to do.
Sometimes when people don't want to make a deal, they act like they want to make a deal, but they never get to the finish line. They keep changing or putting something else in, or find some reason to not make a deal. We'll know that soon enough. Sure. I think this has been towards getting a deal. Nobody messed up to not get a deal.
Yes, and it's always going to be very interesting with the Taj and Revel, along with a lot of properties. Tomorrow, tax liens come up on these properties. So if you got this picture now, the Wells Fargo, who theoretically owns the Revel property now, they owe $31 million to the city. If they don't pay us $1 million by the time of the start tax sale tomorrow, someone can come in and buy
those liens.
For $31 million, you wait 2 years and you're going to own Revel.
So they'll be the owner.
It'll be very interesting.
In the fold here, though, is that Revel went to court. Obviously, the Brookfield, situation, which I think that would have been a great operator.
Same here.
Very exciting.
No question.
The power just blew the whole deal.
It did.
And that's a shame. And I always knew that power plant was going to be a problem that has to be dealt with at some point. But now that Revel is asking the court to approve Glenn Straub as the buyer.
Yes.
Any comment?
No.
Okay. You can't blame a guy.
No. I don't know the individual. So I heard some of his plans. I look forward to meeting him. If he's going to be a businessman, he's going to be bringing 1,000 jobs to my city. I certainly want to welcome him and make sure that it succeeds.
I mean, he wanted to fight to stay in the bid even when he lost it. So now that bid is not going to go through, I would hope that if he was serious, that, if he's the only bid, that the good news would be, to me, not letting that sit still. It's too beautiful.
Right. Yeah, and we know what
potential.
Harry, it's the short. So the salt air, the moisture, and things like that. You can't leave a building. You got to air condition. You got to watch it. Having it sit for a year or so, it's going to just cost too much to bring it back. I mean, we got to find a new year for the level.
So in terms of 2014, which I think you will admit, I don't know of a mayor that has run into more buzzsaws. Some of it was anticipated. A lot of it probably you could never anticipate some of it. Give us your recap. It is almost your full first year.
Yeah, so interesting. So certainly to say that was a challenge would be an understatement this year. You certainly know the closing of the 4 casinos and the effects on people's lives that lost their jobs, plus all the businesses that were supported by casino employees and visitors to the casinos has been real tough. But there's some things I'm proud of. Atlantic City is known as a clean city, and yet since March, we have been cleaning every street every day in the residential district, just as they do in tourism district. And graffiti that you would have seen at least 200 locations at the beginning of the year is almost non-existent. When you see it, it's removed within 24 hours. The level of cleaning of the beach and the boardwalk are all drastically improved. Paving, we've taken a beating as the city that's just flipped up. We have paved more streets in this year than we have for 10 years combined. All of Venice Park, all of Bung Park, Arctic Avenue last week, a lot of the side streets, and we'll be coming back in the spring paving more, and eventually Pacific Avenue. I think it's going to be a challenge. Pave Pacific Avenue between now and the end of the year. You can't pave when it's cold. You can't pave when it's raining. The asphalt plants are going to close. I think you're going to have to wait until the springtime for that, but it is ready to be paved. So I think that's pretty exciting news down there as well. Police department, I told you before, I'm really proud of the job that Chief Henry White has done in a year in crime. And last year was a very good year for lowering crime. So the lower crime this year over last year is really pretty monumental.
Good point. Over a very good year.
Over a very good year.
Yes.
And he's reduced the number of uses of force. We'll know because we have over 35% fewer complaints in internal affairs. He's completely removed the internal affairs and a few police departments that has a hearing officer that is not a police officer. It's actually an individual attorney, and we went out of our way to make sure they're not even from Atlanta, so that the person coming to IA has a fair shot at that. So, he's brought in 60 cars that formerly went home, and he's done all this with a reduced force. In policing, this was a good year for the policing. I want to tell you that I'm very impressed with, I have credit not just to the Jewish Family Service, but Denny Levinson as our county director with the combining all the social services and making sure that the first we reach out to someone, that we're actually finding out what their needs are besides just a bed or just eating and things. I have some numbers here. They temporary shelter for 558 people. They secured permanent housing, 300 residents. They linked 25 individuals to substance abuse programs. They provided transportation back to the point of origin for 264 individuals that came into the city. They referred 177 people to mental health services, and they helped 3,700 individuals that were affected by homelessness. So they get a big thank you from me. And Girls Club closed. We thought it was a dead issue. I mean, it was almost $500,000 that needed to be raised. Everyone came together. The Boys and Girls Club, indeed, operating PAL expanded programs that they have over there. I think that was real exciting. And of course, I'm very excited about Bass Pro, Harris Conference Center, and expansion of Tropicana, all going to create about 900 jobs and all opening up either the spring, summer, or fall of last year.
And Resorts is doing more convention space too.
Resorts is now going to take the old
the buffet
and the open space there and created conference rooms, which is so needed. So that's great. And Bass Pro actually came in a week ago, and they're now going to expand the building that you see, adding an additional 15,000 square foot house across from Angelo's. So in the parking lot now that was Pitney Village, you'll see that filled with literally of boat storage and then a beautiful boathouse. So a lot of walking traffic between that location and the Bass Pro would really enliven Mississippi Avenue again.
It is Town Square Atlantic City's monthly program, Ask the Mayor, with Atlantic City Mayor Don Garvey, taking your phone calls, your comments, your questions. That's 407-1450. Jackson joins us now. Jackson, Ask the Mayor. You're on the air.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm glad to be
good for you.
Hey,
Thanks,
Jackson.
I just wanted to tell the both of you I'm very proud of where I come from. I'm very proud of where I...
Go ahead. You blipped out for a second, but we got you back, Jackson. Go right ahead. We heard you say you're proud.
I'm very proud of where I come from. I'm very proud of where my family, my children, my parents, where everyone else of us have come from. I remember Pitney Village. I remember all the dark days before casino gambling. We are not in the state of emergency that we were back then, although it is bleak. But I'm not going to say that we're in the state of emergency that we were back then, because back then it was much, much, much worse. At the same time, I will admit that all this rubbish I'm hearing about letting the governor and Senate Sweeney come in here and dictate to us who's going to have policing our city that my parents, their parents, and my children live in. I have a say. I have a say. The voters have a say. The councilmen should have a say. This is not dictatorship. This is not Russia, okay? And I love the governor. I voted for him. I would vote for him again. He's not a bad guy. But you cannot come into cities and bully your way with services, which is not a bad idea, but as far as the police is concerned.
All right, Jackson, let me jump in. Let me give the mayor an opportunity to respond, because I know I have a difference of opinion. I don't think this is a dictator. I think this is a partnership. But what are your thoughts, Mayor?
Sure. Jackson, I want to tell you.
Jackson, you're there.
Jackson, what I want to tell you is that I think the governor received some information that was just outdated. So that he had heard about our police department doing a bad job, crime going up, them not being responsive, even the cost of the police department, what was incorrect. Once we brought that information to the governor, there's not anymore about policing or fire, for that matter. Both of those departments, and I'm talking about the unions, the PBA and the firefighters, as well as the fire chief and police chief, have come back and have slashed the budget drastically. We're talking about this year, by the end of 15, the police department's going to slash almost $15 million, and the firefighters are between $9 and $10 million. So they're not being considered for this consolidation. And I
agree with you. I agree with you, Mr. Mayor, and I understand. But at the same part, we know what happened in the city of Camden, and we cannot let the national perception happen to Atlantic City, what happened in Camden, because everybody knows that Camden makes the top 10, the top 5 most violent cities in America. And we cannot let that kind of perception go down in Atlantic City, that they had to go to a Camden police, a county police department, because things were so out of whack and the budgets were so out of whack and stuff like that.
All right, Jackson, I'm going to jump in only because I want to give the mayor, going to be leaving early tonight at 6:45, an opportunity to respond. And he just, for some reason, it's totally unrelated, but he reminded me of something that I want to follow up with.
Yeah, so Jackson, just absolutely agree with you. This is not Camden. This is not Camden Police Department. Police Department is easily full on things that weren't going well, and they're well on their way to being one of the best police departments in the country.
What's the status, Mayor, on the section of Boardwalk that needs to be removed?
Sure.
I'm going to tell you why I'm bringing that up. there was a media report again, and this was after yesterday's nor'easter, and another media person. Thank God it didn't go national, but it has gone probably tri-states. I heard about it morning on our show in the morning, and I even know the reporter that did it. I'm kind of surprised because she has a relative that is right here in Atlantic City. But anyhow, the report went that the boardwalk is, here. You know what that did last time they did that?
Sure, absolutely.
Devastating.
Yeah, it was.
We got to get rid of that.
Yeah, so the boardwalk is physically gone in the Northeast, except for some of the pilings. The funding, $35 million, is in place. The Army Corps of Engineers designed a seawall that goes from the T-jetty on the ocean all the way back to Atlantic Avenue, and then from the beach at Caspian Avenue all the way back to Gardner's Basin. That's going to start in the spring. They've already awarded those contracts. As that seawall gets built, the new boardwalk gets built on the land side of that seawall. It's an 18-month project. It's huge. It's a mile and a quarter. It's larger than most towns have as a boardwalk, but that's going to be in place. It'll connect from Gardner's Basin all the way down to the Margate border.
I'm not going to reveal my source, and Mayor, you wouldn't ask me to, and I'm going to ask our listeners to trust my judgment over the past 25 years that when I tell you I learned something, that I back it up for almost a quarter of a century. I spoke to several credible people today that have told me that you met with 4 members of City Council. I don't usually talk out of school. The reason I'm going to bring this up is because Jackson, the perception, I think he was very reasonable. And when you told him that, that was based on a false perception, I think he modified his strident view of like some kind of heavy-handed state pressure was coming into Atlantic City. From what I was told, the overview that you were able to give today was very well received by 4 members of City Council. It would have been all members of City Council, except you can't do that because it would be a violation of the Open Public Meeting Act. So you can have a working committee type deal with less than a quorum. I heard, so just so everybody knows, this is completely on the up and up. I heard incredibly positive things about that, which proves that from your opening statement of these things that are from whether it's Diane Allen, Steve Sweeney, Chris Christie, Verzicelli, this one, that one, the other, this has been well received, hasn't it?
That's correct. 4 councilmen gave the opportunity to spend about 2 hours going into pretty strong detail on all of the things that we're going to be in the city and what the help the state's going to be giving us. And then I met with 3 other councilmen yesterday and the day before, so I have 3 councilmen to go. But everyone has been very supportive of this. I mean, this is one voice now that we're coming through in Atlantic City. And this is how we're going to solve our problems. This is how we're going to stabilize the tax situation, and this is how we're going to bring reduced taxes to non-casino property owners, homeowners, and businesses that are not casinos.
We're going to take a brief time, and I'll follow up on that when we come back. It's Mayor Don Garland and the Mayor. This is WPG Talk Radio 1450, South Jersey's talk station. We'll be back if you have a question and you'd like to phone in, 609-407-1450. You can tweet your question as well at WPG1450 using hashtag WPG Ask the Mayor. We'll be back in 2.5 minutes. Stay with us.
WPG1450.com is South Jersey's 24-hour news source. When you need to know what's happening in South Jersey, around the Garden State, or across the country, visit WPG1450.com. The biggest news stories, your 5-day forecast, and more on your desktop or optimized for your tablet or cell phone. It's news when you need it at your fingertips from WPG Talk Radio 1450 and WPG1450.com.
Today's Ask the Mayor program is proudly brought to you by the Casino Reinvestment Development Authority, building a better future for our region through strategic initiatives to reposition Atlantic City as a clean and safe, multifaceted, year-round destination and community. Get in the holiday spirit by visiting the Deck the Halls Festival of Trees display at Boardwalk Hall, the Tree and Light Fest holiday display at Tanger Outlets, and don't forget to light up your night with the Wintersweet 3D Light and Sound Show. There may be a chill in the air, but the action is heating up in Atlantic City. An exciting lineup of world-class entertainment is on tap at Boardwalk Hall with musical acts Cat Williams, the All-Stars of Hip Hop, Linkin Park, Fleetwood Mac, and Mark Anthony, plus great sporting events like AHL hockey, indoor auto racing, and the Harlem Globetrotters. Meanwhile, the CRDA continues to invest in Atlantic City's future with Bass Pro Shops, Harris Conference Center, the Steel Pier Observation Wheel, improvements at Tropicana and resorts, Atlantic Avenue facades, and hundreds of new housing units. Come on, let's do AC.
Keeping you and your business safe and sound is the job of Abeta Security. Try your luck in Atlantic City, but never gamble on your security. Abeta Security is the company that keeps Atlantic City secure. They're a full-service security firm with a focus on customer service and training. Abeta Security will come to your business and provide recommendations to maximize the return on your security investment, recognizing that each property and event is unique. Abeta Security is based in Atlantic City, located in the heart of the redevelopment zone. As Abeta Security continues to expand, they offer a myriad of career opportunities and are actively hiring quality candidates for all positions: uniform security, event staff, shift supervisors, and account managers. Go to abetasecurity.com to apply today. Abeta Security, located at 520 Pacific Avenue in the Bell Building in Atlantic City. Online at abetasecurity.com. Abeta Security would like to wish everyone a happy, healthy, and safe holiday season. Abeta Security in Atlantic City for Atlantic City.
WPG Talk Radio 1450 presents Ask the Mayor, presented by the New Jersey Casino Reinvestment Development Authority and Abeta Security. To talk to Mayor Guardian, call 407-1450. Now, with Atlantic City Mayor Don Guardian, here's Harry Hurley.
Hey, thanks very much, and welcome back to Ask the Mayor with Atlantic City Mayor Don Guardian. Michael is standing by. Michael, you're coming on in just a moment. Our program tonight brought to us by the Casino Reinvestment Development Authority, committed to Atlantic City's future and proud to support today's Ask the Mayor. And we're also brought to you by Abeta Security. That's A-B-A-T-I-S. Abeta Security will keep you and your business safe and sound. Try your luck in Atlantic City, but never gamble on your safety with Abeta Security online at abetasecurity.com. And a reminder, Greg and Chris are awesome. They're literally in this very challenging environment, hiring in almost every classification. Abetasecurity.com. Check it out. There's a lot of skill sets that are on the table with a company that you could very well qualify for. So if you've been downsized or contraction has taken your position through no fault of your own, Abetasecurity.com, and you'll like the team there. They're very, very good people. Michael, welcome to Ask the Mayor with Mayor Don Guardian. You're on the air.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. How are you guys doing?
I'm good. Thanks, Michael. I like that. Hey, Michael.
I'm sorry to bother you guys, but I mean, it's something that's really been bothering me for an extended period of time. And I just wanted to bring it to your attention. I mean, I hate to bother you, but I am a taxpayer. I own a home. I'm a single-family home in Venice Park. And, you know, with all this talk about, you know, the things that are going on with the county government and the municipal government and everything like that, and they're talking about, you know, and don't get me wrong, I love shared services. I love shared services. I think the dispatchers, you know, there could be a dispatching unit for all of the county, if not the county into 3 units, and you can have 3 different dispatch units for that, for those in 3 different areas, so that's fine. But you know, I'm just a voter. I voted for Don Guardian. I worked on his campaign. I had his son, and I understand that, you know, times are tough and everything like that. But don't I get a say? Don't I get a vote on who polices my city? Like, who is going to police my city and my neighborhoods and my children? You know, when my children runs in, God forbid, they run into police activity and they have to, you know, interact with a police officer in a situation, don't I have a say? Because, you know, Atlantic City is a civil service town, and it's about the people who live here, and it's about the people who love here, and it's about the people whose parents live here, and they live here, and their kids live here, and God willing, their kids will live here. Isn't it about keeping it with us? And
all right, Michael, stand by, stay with us, don't hang up, because one of the things I can say as a local member of the media, from the second that this issue came up, I asked Mayor Don Guardian repeatedly, not to be fictitious, just to see if his position could change, would change. Every time I asked the question, how hard will you fight to keep a local police department? Last month on this program, Mayor Guardian, we've had a promo playing all month, said, I'm going to fight very hard. Every has come up. So my answer to you, and then we'll turn it over to the mayor, is you do have a say because you elected Mayor Don Guardian, who is heeding the advice and consent, if you will, of the people, seem to be very adamant, Mayor. They want to keep their local police department. Your thoughts?
I stand by our police department. This is not Camden. We have a good police department. We have the right to have a police department here. We are bringing it in at the model that the rest of the state is supposed to be following. There's no reason for us not to have a police department. I really do believe this is off the table. We've got to meet all of these numbers. All of what I'm talking about with all this legislation has to come through, but there's no reason to be concerned at this point. We're going to be strong, and I am not willing to give up our police department. They've done a very good job. They deserve our support.
All right, Michael, how's that sound for you?
I understand. I listen, but I don't think you answered my question. Do I get a vote? Does this decision come to a referendum, or I can go to a ballot and I can lobby my neighbors, and I can lobby everybody in Lower Chelsea and Bungalow Park and Ducktown and everybody against this, or are we at just the mercy of the king, the governor, and he can do whatever he wants here? That's what I'm trying to understand. Do the residents of Atlantic City and even the residents of Atlantic County, do they get a vote? Do they get to speak their mind and cast their vote, or are we just at the whim of the governor?
So there's no vote to be had.
There's not a referendum.
The concern was that our police department was so out of control that they were not willing to follow policy and procedures, and they were not willing to consider cutting costs and following best practices. All of that information is incorrect. They're doing all of that. They're following best practices. They lowered their costs. The issue about the police department is really off the table.
So, Michael, you don't need a referendum citizen question when the issue is off the table. We thank you so much for the call. We'll get back to your calls in just a moment. Michael, thank you for checking in with Ask the Mayor with Don Guardian, the mayor of Atlantic City. I go up about 10 or 15 minutes ago when you were talking about some of the positive news, and I think it is positive when we would know a 15-year period. The first 2 years would be at a higher level. For 13 years, it would be set at that $120 million level. I have so many questions about it. Isn't enough to actually run the affairs of the city? That would be one question. But the other question is, so once the casinos have that level of stability, I think that helps everybody. That helps investment. A company knows where they stand. They know what their costs are going to be for a extended period of time. That will, I think, unbridle them. I'm going to get bullish on the city. But what about, and I took this call on Hurley, and I thought it was a really important question. What about the homeowners that want tax stability? What do you say to them?
Yeah, that this is going to give them that tax stability. So on the casino side, the $120 million is more than we would hope to get starting next year because of the 4 casinos no longer being in play for the taxes, and probably every other casino would file a tax appeal for what we would charge them in January. So 120 is very solid. By being 120, that is what it. So as you see the cost of government being reduced, as you see any funds that comes to the school board does not go to the school board. It goes directly to the taxpayers. But that money isn't going to be shared by all taxpayers. It's only going to be shared by non-casino taxpayers. So yes, stability in your tax bill, and you'll see a reduction. Listen, I think most people like myself, I get a tax bill. If I read when I'm annoyed, I realize that it's the city, the county, the school, open spaces, and the library. But ultimately, I'm looking for the bottom line. Am I paying more or less than I paid the last quarter? Am I paying more this year than I paid last year? And what we're doing is really cutting that. These bills don't come through. We still the help of the state to get us there. But people like Atlantic City, we're likable. Nobody wants to see us dead. And everyone that I've spoken to so far in Trenton is of these issues. Now, these issues are related to a potential casino in North Jersey. This is strictly the stability for Atlantic City right now. So the issue about North Jersey casinos is not on the table yet. I'd be foolish to say it's going to be on next year. Right now, we just want to work on getting this money and this reduction in property tax for our taxpayers.
609-407-1450 phone lines are open. Tom is on the air with Mayor Don Guardian. Go right ahead, Tom.
Hey, Barry, you're doing a great job.
Thank you.
I'm assuming, Mayor, that the tax base was able to support the municipal budget last year. In your negotiations, what is the anticipated shortfall this year in revenue?
65.
I don't think it's a matter of what we want; it's what we can afford.
Right.
Okay.
So, one, not to have a tax increase before going into tax appeals or casinos failing, we're short $65 million. So if we go $15 million reduction, which is what we're doing in the budget next year, we were still short $50 million. So you see why it's so important to have all these bills coming through. And on the casino side, I'm just grateful for the next 2 years that $60 million that went to the ACA and the CRDA is coming to us. And then for the next 13 years after that, the $30 million for CRDA is going to continue to come to the city. Money is specifically for non-casino taxpayers for reduction. We have to live within our own means. We have to trim, and I can tell you, you've heard of me saying we needed to trim 100 or 200 people before the beginning of the year, another 100 by the end of 15. I can tell you that through a very aggressive attrition program. So we haven't had layoffs yet. This is through aggressive attrition. On January 1, we will have 140 people fewer than we had January 1 at the beginning of this year. Is going to reduce the tax bill by $12.5 million.
And you may double that by the end of next year.
Yes.
If I'm doing the math right there,
yes.
What the state and what you do, I guess, is trying to get this budget under $200 million. Would that be correct?
Yes. Yes, that's exactly correct. That's what, in 3 or 4 years, we have to have the budget under the $120 million, $110 million. I think that's doable, but that's making sure we have the 120 from the casinos and the 30, and it also includes 20 million in state aid that we're asking for under transitional aid and ComTrade. And what we'll get back from the schools, $20, $30, $40, will be rebated directly to taxpayers.
Now, Mayor,
yes.
if I heard you correctly,
yes.
You said that the state money would be applied directly to private homeowners within the city. Would that be phased in as the budget's cut by attrition? Would it be phased in gradually? In other words, maybe I'll get a 10% discount on my tax bill, and maybe the second year, maybe I'll get 15. As you begin to lower the municipal budget, would that be a correct assumption?
That is a correct assumption. I think the number will be higher. If the state aid comes for the school, that number will be a lot higher the first year. So you're going to be upset with your January bill because it's the same as last year, and your April bill, which is the same as last year. But in August, it would make up the difference for the first 3 quarters all at one time.
Thank you very much for your call. Mike, you are on the air with Mayor Don Gardy, and it is Ask the Mayor. Your turn, go.
Thank you very much. Hi, Mayor. Thanks a lot for having me on. I'm a little confused. These cuts, these people that are going to be cut, are they from the school board, or from the school department, or are they policemen and firemen?
Nothing from the school. I don't have any control over the school. The 100 people that have retired or are no longer working for us because of attrition. So 140 people that were formerly working for the city that are not working for us now, which comes to the $12.5 million.
Okay, but does that mean policemen and firemen that are working now, are any of them going to be cut?
I think you're going to, yeah. So I think you're going to see 3 or 4 additional policemen that are going to be retiring, and that will meet the goal that we needed there. And I think we're down to 2 or 3 firemen that'll be retiring either December, January, February, and both of those departments will meet their goals.
So you're actually going to get there through attrition?
We're going to get there through attrition.
I have to commend you. That's very fortunate. I didn't think that was going to be possible.
Yeah, it's very aggressive with our attrition program, but that's getting us. We're getting a lot more higher paid people. So people are making more than $100,000, and then that's what's really helping us.
Mike, thank you very much. 609-447-1450. Right back to your calls in just a moment. But we do have some that want to hear a little bit more, Mayor, about Senator Diane Allen's bill dropped today, I think it is a wonderful idea.
Yeah.
It's going to help a lot of people.
Yes. So Senator Diane Allen, very concerned long-term that people that have dedicated themselves to the gaming industry with their careers now need to be looking for alternate jobs. And what she wants to do is she knows that you can't afford after you lose your job to be able to go back and get an associate degree at college. And so what she's saying is tuition cost for any casino employee that's lost a job in the last 2 years.
I mean, this is helping people get retraining to be able to think else.
Absolutely. And, I love Atlantic.
And that's any county college
This is any county college in New Jersey. So if we just stick with Atlantic Cape for our area, you know that they offer morning and evening courses open on the weekends. You can go to you can go to Mays Landing. You can come to the Atlantic City campus. And yes, there's a campus in Cape May as well. So it really, they're very open. That's a business school. They understand the people in businesses. Going to continue businesses, so you'll be able to take courses at any of the 3 branches. In some case, you'll be able to take courses online, but you'll earn your associate's degree. And the senator's point is that it's like a GI Bill for casino workers.
We're going to stay until the top of the hour. The mayor has to get out of here in 3 minutes. It was a previously scheduled engagement that predated actually the Ask the Mayor program. So we thank Mayor Guardian for the extra bonus time he's given us every week. We have time for one more call. We'll give the mayor a clip. Then we'll come back. If you want to check in, I want to share a few things with you that we would have gotten to, and we'll do that in a final mini segment after the mayor heads out. Dee, you're on the air with Mayor Don Guardian. It's Ask the Mayor. Good evening.
Hey, Mayor. Good evening, Harry.
Hey.
Thank you for the good job you're doing in Atlantic City. I'm a senior citizen. I walk all the way. There's been some dramatic changes, even down here. I live down by the Atlantic Club, too. It's amazing what you've done with the Salisbury area. The cleanup going on. Streets are cleaner, and the crime is down. I can't thank you enough. And my one pet peeve, school taxes. I usually complain with that Viking school, 8% graduation rate. Atlantic City High School, 70%.
So I thought it was a 50% graduation rate out of the Viking Academy. I'm not sure about that.
It was on the press on December the 4th.
I think
I have it right in front of me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Bill 70 and Atlantic City, the high school on the Pike, is 70%.
Okay. You're talking the alternative school.
And and the last year was almost the same.
Yeah, I thought it was half. That's good.
Yeah.
It's even better.
And they need the help. They need the help there.
Yeah, I agree.
Some teachers,
they're going to have a whole separate part of Atlantic City High School. That school is still going to exist. I can tell you that.
But they have to ride the buses, Harry. You need machine guns on those buses. I've seen them go by. Harry.
Well, how'd they get to Viking Academy?
Yeah, they're in the city. They're in city.
I know, but they were trained.
Yeah. School buses, yeah.
I know what you're saying, Dee.
I'm not going to comment on the cuts that the school board has to make. I do want to tell you that Chuck Wilson, the principal of that school, has done an outstanding job. I know most of the teachers at the Viking Academy, they've done an outstanding job. And I know that each year that I lobby, I'll use that word, with my Rotary Club and MBCA to provide a scholarship for college for kids that actually make it through Viking, because these kids had a troubled past. So they've done a wonderful job. They do need the help. I'm sorry to see it close, but the Board of Education does need to trim a lot of money.
And though there will still be an educational delivery system for those students.
So I understand.
I've spoken to Donna Hay. There's no question about it.
Donna has a tough job ahead of her.
She does. I do want to point out, and Dee, thank you for the call. I know the mayor has to get out of here. I know you're not going to get into specific financial issues because that's their purview. It's separately elected and so on. But it wasn't long ago when Fred Nichols and Donna Hay took Atlantic City Public Schools from a school that was in level 2 state monitoring to a best practice school, multi-year accreditation. And so now there are all these financial issues. And suddenly my sources tell me that they're going to have a monitor placed above them.
Yes.
That's what I hear.
Yeah. In order for Atlantic City taxpayers to get this $30 to $60 million tax break, the state says we've got to have a monitor to make sure indeed you're following best practices and indeed you're lowering the actual cost of schools.
Mayor, if you can answer this in 1 minute, we'll get you out on time. This is from a great guest listener to WPG1450.com. How can we develop the intercoastal waterway of the city to utilize this beautiful resource? And also the listener said it's worth asking Mayor Guardian to explain the importance of resurrecting the Avenue drainage tunnel.
Okay, so tomorrow night, you interested about Baltimore tunnel or interesting what we're doing at Gardner's Basin? 5 o'clock at the aquarium public meeting. We'll have a director of planning there. We'll have the engineers. They'll answer all your questions. Baltic Avenue of utmost importance. Yesterday was the perfect example. We don't have to have flooding in 2/3 of our city. Opening up the canal, putting in the pumping station at Atlantis and at Rhode Island Avenue. Gates have been since the early 1900s. Is a problem. That's what we certainly need to do. The intercoastal waterway, we're working on that now. It involves the first bridge coming in on Route 40 to be raised. With that raising, you'd create bulkheading for West End Avenue as well as Bader Field. And in doing that, you'd actually intercoastal waterway up to deeper waters there because the bridge would be high enough. Harry, I'm going to go. I'm heading over. The Debts of America is giving their
I know it's a merit award.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I should know that. I feel bad, but it's Lori Herndon, the of our own Atlantic here, that's receiving. It's not the Good Out Award, the Something Citizen Award, but it's the highest award that the Boy Scouts of America give. I'm just on my way there. I'm privileged to present her the award.
We'll talk to you on Hurley in the morning, and we'll also see you right back here in the new year, Thursday, January 8th.
Absolutely, and I look forward to you. I'm sure with the Fish Storm we'll be talking to you. Harry, always good to be on Town Square Media. Always great to be on WPG Talk Radio, 1450 AM. For all the listening audience, I wouldn't be able to talk to them, so whether you're enjoying the Festival of Lights or Hanukkah, Christmas, or Kwanzaa, I wish you the very happy holidays and a wonderful, healthy New Year. God
Good night,
bless.
Mayor. Thank you. We'll with the closing segment straight ahead. Stay with us if you want to jump in. 609-407-1450 phone lines are open. It's Ask the Mayor exclusively on Town Square Atlantic City's WPG Talk Radio 1450, South Jersey's talk station.
WPG Talk Radio 1450 is South Jersey's talk station and the only station that brings you South Jersey news, information, and your AccuWeather forecast every 30 minutes all day long. When you need to know what's happening here in South Jersey, tune to 1450 AM at the top and bottom of every hour. And for news as it breaks, visit WPG1450.com and follow us on Twitter. WPG Talk Radio 1450, South Jersey's talk station.
Keeping you and your business safe and sound is the job of Abeta Security. Try your luck in Atlantic City, but never gamble on your security. Abeta Security is the company that keeps Atlantic City secure. They're a full-service security firm with a focus on customer service and training. Abeta Security will come to your business and provide recommendations to maximize the return on your security investment, recognizing that each property and event is unique. Abeta Security is based in Atlantic City, located in the heart of the redevelopment zone. As Abeta Security continues to expand, they offer a myriad of career opportunities and are actively hiring quality candidates for all positions: uniform security, event staff, shift supervisors, and account managers. Go to abetasecurity.com to apply today. Abeta Security, located at 520 Pacific Avenue in the Bella Building in Atlantic City. Online at abetasecurity.com. Abeta Security would like to wish everyone a happy, healthy, and safe holiday season. Abeta Security in Atlantic City for Atlantic City.
Today's Ask the Mayor program is proudly brought to you by the Casino Reinvestment Development Authority, building a better future for our region through strategic initiatives to reposition Atlantic City as a clean and safe, multifaceted, year-round destination and community. Get in the holiday spirit by visiting the Deck the Halls Festival of Trees display at Boardwalk Hall, the Tree and Light Fest holiday display at Tanger Outlets, and don't forget to light up your night with a Winter Suite 3 3D light and sound show. There may be a chill in the air, but the action is heating up in Atlantic City. An exciting lineup of world-class entertainment is on tap at Boardwalk Hall with musical acts Cat Williams, the All-Stars of Hip-Hop, Linkin Park, Fleetwood Mac, and Mark Anthony, plus great sporting events like AHL hockey, indoor auto racing, and the Harlem Globetrotters. Meanwhile, the CRDA continues to invest in Atlantic City's future with Bass Pro Shops, Harris Conference Center, the Steel Pier Observation Wheel, improvements at Tropicana and resorts, Atlantic Avenue facades, and hundreds of new housing units. Come on, let's do AC.
WPG Talk Radio 1450 presents Ask the Mayor, presented by the New Jersey Casino Reinvestment Development Authority and Alphatus Security. To talk to Mayor Guardian, call 407-1450. Now, with Atlantic City Mayor Don Guardian, here's Harry Hurley.
Hey, thanks very much. Closing mini segment. If you want to jump in, 609-407-1450. Phone lines are open. And today's program, Building a Better Future for Atlantic City, the Casino Reinvestment Development Authority is a proud sponsor of tonight's Ask the Mayor program right here on WPG Talk Radio 1450. And Abeta Security will keep you and your business safe and sound. Try your luck in the world's famous playground, but never gamble on your safety with Abeta Security online at abetasecurity.com. And Greg and Chris are awesome. They're in a very challenging environment, literally hiring in almost every single job classification. So check them out, Abetas, A-T-A-T-I-S, abetasecurity.com. Tell them you heard about them right here on WPG Talk Radio 1450's Ask the Mayor program. Kirk Conover was the one, our former assemblyman, and he's obviously been huge for decades in all of these types of environmental issues, coastal issues. And I'll tell you what, you give Don Guardian an unscripted question. If he has, an answer, he'll give it to you. If he doesn't have one, he doesn't make it up. He'll tell you, he'll get back to you. I thought that was a great question from Kirk, who joins us now. What did you think of the depth of Mayor Guardian's answer, Kirk?
I was very impressed. Very strong response, and it shows he's got a handle on everything that's going on in and about the city as far as for the future.
Kirk, you had written in a little while ago that when you hear Mayor Guardian, that he inspires confidence to you.
Yeah, and that's very important with any leader. I mean, he has an air about him of confidence, and when you hear the substance of his answers, it gives, someone who's on the outside looking in confidence that, things are going to get done, and they're going to get done right. And I can't tell you how important, perception of confidence in leadership is when it comes to being in a position like the mayor of a city.
Kirk, you've been the chairman of the Freeholder Board, and the cat's loving the show too, which is very, very good.
Do you hear him?
Do I hear him? Do I hear him? He's louder than us. His participation, I'm going to brag to my executive program director, his participation tonight in listenership just took us over the top. Chris and I have been monitoring the stream all night. I should say Chris has. He's just posting me through text message. It's been absolutely incredible. Ladies and gentlemen, you are awesome. We never take it for granted. And Kirk, the other thing about this aura, if you will, of inspiring confidence when someone leads strong and leads with authority and it's someone that you feel like you can trust, is it inspires development too. People want to do business in a city that they feel is stable. I know in your elected positions, both as the County Freeholder Board Chairman and as a member of the New Jersey Legislature, you know exactly what I mean by that.
Oh, yeah. And it's, perception becomes reality at some point. And when you hear someone that's very positive, that has a grip on all the events that are swirling around the city, and then you hear the substance of what's going to be done, it would give anybody confidence. And realistically, you always have to couch your answers to any question when you're the mayor of the city, basically to outsiders, because it's going to be more than likely outsiders with big money come in to make an investment in the city. It's not going to be, there's not enough local people that have that kind of money to make a big difference. So you're looking at giving outsiders that are savvy investors the confidence that they're going to be able to deal with a city that has a vision and a rational approach to, handling proposals, and they have a vision of what they want the future to be.
And wait until, business folks hear that casinos now have a handle, or at least soon will have a handle on their tax liability for the next 2 years, their tax liability for the 13 years that follow after that, that citizens will have a handle on. And of course, you and Nancy are property taxpayers, you are a homeowner in Atlantic City, so you can appreciate anything that's done to stabilize that is going to be a windfall for the for all the homeowners in Atlantic City who cannot endure what has been happening over the past year and a half to 2 years. So this is all very, very positive. Kirk, quick comment. Then I have just a few minutes to do a recap and a couple of important things that I want to share.
Well, I would just say that the stability and predictability is what business people want. It's what homeowners want. You don't want to get whipsawed with your finances if you make an investment in a city, no matter what city it is. So that's really what people are looking for. Stability, predictability gives you the ability to lay out a spreadsheet and say, these are going to be my expenses going forward. And, if I can generate this much revenue, then I can count on a return on my investment. But if you don't know what those underlying expenses like property taxes are be, or that there's going to be some financial calamity within the city you're investing in that's going to affect your expenses, it doesn't matter what your revenue projections are.
That's exactly right. So, there won't be confidence or stability. You don't know what your expenses are, so it's not as appealing. Kirk, good to be with you. We'll do more on Hurley in the Morning in the very near future.
Thanks, Harry.
Good to be with you, Kirk. Thanks for your expertise and appreciate your input and, of course, your input and ownership. 609-407-1450 lines will shut down just for the evening. We'll be back in this format for Ask Mayor with Mayor Don Guardian in the new year, Thursday, January 8th, 6 p.m. hour. Mayor Guardian will be back until 7:05 that evening. He's always given us 5 minutes of overtime each week. I thought it would be a good idea just to recap some of the incredible things that if you haven't heard about them yet, you're going to hear about them. 5 bills were dropped today before the New Jersey Senate Budget Committee. These will then move on to the Senate. They'll move on to the Assembly Budget Committee, to the full Assembly, and then if they have and they'll probably be able to do it that they're the same bill. If not, they'll have to, merge them into the same bill. They'll then go on to the governor. We'll see, what Governor Christie has to say about all of this. It appears that everyone is working on the same page, and that for the next 15 years, the gross gaming revenue would be $30 million. That's assuming that we go from a $0.2 billion gaming jurisdiction down to a $2.4 billion gaming jurisdiction, so less than half of what we once were with the contraction that's been taking place. There are a lot of other things that are happening. There's a bill that Senator Diane Allen has dropped that we talked about, where every New Jersey worker that has lost their position from a casino because of contraction, you will be able to go to any county college in the state. That's a huge deal for retraining. Senator Whalen has introduced today what is being called the Atlantic City Grow Tax Credit. And this will provide 80% of the cost of building new homes in Atlantic City for the next 5 years. You have to build at least 8 units. 80% of them need to be owner-occupied. So what they're looking to do is to create an inspired development into Atlantic City, but not just real estate positions, actual homeowners in Atlantic City. Senator Sweeney has introduced a bill that would allow a casino, 2 of them, as small as 200 hotel rooms. It's incredible what's going on, a lot happening all at one time. On behalf of everyone here at Town Square Media, our president, Mike Rubel, executive program director, Chris Coleman, digital all-star, and our executive producer, Kyle McCann, I'm Harry Hurley. I'll be back in just a few hours for Hurley in the Morning Thursday. We have a huge program, including a reunion that'll keep you in suspense. This is a musical group that had an amazing hit song 40 years ago, and they're reuniting tomorrow on early in the morning for the first time in 40 years. We have Mayor Guardian. Everyone here in Town Square, Atlantic City, have a great rest of your evening.
Atlantic